Okay. It's gonna fall. Feel it.
All right, so Sharkey, Ryan, and I are going to tag team this, so it's not just me talking at you for 15 minutes, which I'm sure assuming exactly. You know how I say contact me? You don't.
Wow.
So I'm sure all of you are aware that the region kind of did a health of the region survey about a month and a half, 2 months ago. It was a gigantic survey. The amount of information and the data that came back is incredible. And so we're looking at it and taking it apart. One of the things, back.
I'm going back.
So what Sharkey has done is the documents that are coming around right now, he kind of extrapolated some data from 2 different subsets. A lot of the respondents were parents. And I know you guys deal a lot with parents, we deal a lot with parents. And as much information as we give them, sometimes they don't understand. And the feedback in this survey is clear. They don't really get what all of this is about. They think they just pay you, whatever, you know, you're my club. So that's why in the Badger Beacon, we've started the last 2 issues. If you've noticed, we did a great diagram, kind of the relationship between USA Volleyball, Badger Region, the clubs, the officials, tournament directors, things like that. And just, you know, there were some of the respondents in the staff section. A lot of were, why do we need a staff? What does the staff do? The staff is, you know, some great comments and some not great comments. And so we're using this as a tool to kind of explain what we do. And Sharkey's going to take over and go into the document that Ryan and Jem are passing out just a little bit more. And we're also going to send this out after the meeting.
Yeah. So we had close to 700 people reply to the survey. It's not a great percentage of return, but when it went out to 10,000 some members. But hearing back from 700 people, what I did with the sheet that says from our members at the top there. What's that?
They both.
Oh, they both do, yes. There are 2, and there is also one that specifically talks about the Wisconsin Volleyball Summit that we'll talk about later. So there will be 3 handouts coming around. In essence, what I did was went through the survey, obviously 700 responses are a lot, and tried to pull out the key topics, not specific to one club or another, but topics that I felt were general enough that it probably affects us all in some way. And I'm not going to go through every bullet point on this handout. I will just touch mainly on, you know, the main ones that affect us all. Tryouts was a very heavily responded area. It's a part where parents, players, coaches, they all have a hand in tryouts. We all, you know, are involved in some way, and that's for a lot of us our first contact with these parents, especially new ones. As you can tell from the data here, 45% of the 700 people that responded were only 1 to 2 years experience with the Badger region. That's a very, you know, kind of interesting number, because you got to figure that 350 of the respondents only had 1 or 2 years of contact with Badger region or a club or USA Volleyball in some way. So tryouts is their first experience in club volleyball, and for a lot of them it was not a positive experience. That again is for the people who replied. Too many people say the tryouts overlap. They don't know what this tryout fee is going to, and what is most confusing, and we get calls like this all the time, why am I paying a $10 membership fee to Badger Region, okay, the tryout membership that a lot of people do, and paying $40, $30, $10 to the club because they require a tryout fee. Okay, I think that's kind of and that's a shared responsibility between us and you guys to tell them, hey, your $40 tryout fee is going because we have to turn the lights on at this gym, or it's a fundraiser for our club, or we're giving you a tryout t-shirt, or we're paying the coaches that are working here today. Be specific where that 40, 50, I don't know how much you charge for your tryout, where that's going, because a lot of parents felt duped by having to pay a membership fee, which covers your insurance and stuff like that, and the $40 or so that goes to your club, you know, to turn lights on. The other complaints always with tryouts is, well, the coach isn't clear as to, you know, what they're expecting, or my daughter ended up on a bad team, or, you know, just the miscommunications that go along with tryouts. We get a lot of phone calls and emails about that. We try to filter them back to the specific club that it affects. But it also goes to show that of 700 respondents, that was a very crucial thing. I'm not just plucking this from one response. There were multiple responses about the confusion of the tryouts. So I think we could all probably do a little bit better job at tryouts to make it as clear as possible. Tournaments, if parents want more tips on what to, where to park, about, when the schedule's coming out, just things like that. Obviously, parents have complained about concessions and probably everything else under the sun. I think it's just make aware that, it sounds ridiculous, but we get phone calls and emails that say, how come the UW Whitewater tournament on February 3rd doesn't have their schedule out yet? And we go, well, we're not running that tournament. All right, so if you're a tournament director as well, please make sure to get that information out and be as over-communicative as possible. In club policies, the biggest thing, and I think if there's anything we can take away from the survey, the word communicate came up about 1 billion times. We hear how many times that the problems that do arise and come to grievance or come to our office, the #1 reason is the club, the parent, the player did not communicate clearly or enough with the individuals that were involved. So make sure that you're taking the time as club directors because we have 101 other things in the office that we do, and we just don't want to have to say, hey, talk to your club about it. Just keep that door open with your players, your athletes, with your coaches, whoever it might be, because that's obviously the #1 sticking point that we saw from the survey. Make sure your clubs are sticking to their mission. I think a couple of the survey responses reflected very poorly on some clubs that, they said that we were going to do X, Y, Z, and they only did X. Be clear up front with what the expectations are and how the club will live up to it. There's all kinds of different little bullet points and stuff that we can go further into detail. In the reffing section, and this is going to come up when Ryan and Terry do the tournament director meeting afterwards, is I think the parents love to yell scoreboard and be crazy, and they don't know the difference between a lift or a double. But I think it's on club directors and coaches to really take ownership, be more diligent to make sure that their athletes are well enough trained to line judge, to scorekeep, to be an R2 when necessary, okay? Because of the 700 people that responded, I think reffing, behind communication, reffing was the next biggest area that people actually took the time to write a comment. There were probably 130, 140 comments when it came to just reffing. So that's a very important thing to our parents, to our players. So I really just, don't want to elaborate any farther than we have to. Really just take the time to make sure that they are properly trained. That's what we're hearing from our members. This isn't Jen or Ryan or me or Jim and Larry talking. This is from the people that you guys represent as club directors. These are your parents. These are your players. Whoever took the survey, this is what they're saying. So this is not coming from up on high. This is us just being the middleman. Hey, fix the reffing issues with your kids. Fix the communication issues between club director and parent. Okay, there's no easy flick of the switch to make it happen, but we're just saying this is what we are hearing.
Are there any questions on the survey? We're going to keep continuing to roll out some of the data and explaining some of the things that were misunderstood from the survey, because we can do a better job communicating as well. Sharkey and I are both journalism people, communications people, and so that's very, very important to us. And I know, I've talked to many of you that have come to me with situations, and and we talk about communication a lot. So I think that we can all get better at that.
On the survey, was there a response to say what club they were responding from?
No, but we can Webpoint stalk people if they put their name.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. Of the 700, probably 600 put their name or what affiliation they had.
Is there any way to funnel that where you could, send, hey, this is what we got from your random parents? Is there any way to do
Yeah,
that?
we could definitely look into that. That could be a Sarah project. Yeah, we could definitely extrapolate from the junior parents and the junior, and try to pull some of those clubs and get those responses to you. We're not going to give you their names.
No.
Yeah, but definitely the general information, if it pertains to your club, we could definitely get that to you.
This is my portion of the program here. Webpoint and registration. Registration opens September 1st. All the membership types. Your memberships, if you have a current membership or a summer membership, that's good through the end of October. So you can remind any of your athletes, especially for 14 and under tryouts, that their membership is still good from last season through that tryout period. A couple of things, I'm just going to talk about some common issues that we have with Webpoint during the season, and reminders for you guys as club directors. I get calls all the time, especially in January, right before you're going to compete. I can't get a coach on a roster, what's going on? So just kind of be a little bit proactive on your end. Some of the biggest things, they don't have a background screen. And background screens aren't things that we can turn around in a day or two. We have no control over that. And so make sure you're on top of that, because usually plan for at least a week for the background screen to clear. Also this year, Safe Sport is required for all coaches. And that's not a thing that I can, again, turn on and off. They have to complete the training in order for it to show up in Webpoint. Make sure your coaches are selecting the right membership option so that it does trigger a background screen. They should all be adult full memberships for the season. Once they click that membership, they will, if they don't have a background screen current, it should trigger it. The background screens are good for 2 years. Creating teams in Webpoint. We do have how-to guides on our website. Every team, every club has to have, for every age level, one of the teams does have to have the team ranking of number 1. Okay, we can't just go 1 and A, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, go in that order.
Even if it hurts people's feelings to be the second team, somebody
Right.
has to be.
Somebody has to be number 1. Get it done early, get your club dues fees in. We get it every year. Get a call on Friday of the first weekend, say, oh shoot, I don't know what happened, we didn't get our club fees in. Is there anything we can do? Can you mark us paid? We'll put a check in the mail. I get it every single year. And we don't want to do that. So get it done, get it. You know your teams in early December, most of you that are going to be competing that first weekend. Get it in, get it done early so that we can get that process. Club directors, tournament directors will not let you play if your Webpoint roster does not have that team fees paid on it. We encourage everybody to try and get that tryout membership, especially people that are new to volleyball, just in case something were to happen if they were to not make a team. We get it every year where somebody signed up for a full membership, they didn't make a club. Is there any way we can get reimbursed? Sorry, no. We just don't do that. To play on a team, every player has to have a full junior membership. So they can either get the full membership up front, they can do the $10, and they can always upgrade from the $10 to pay the additional $40 to upgrade to the full membership. Also, we've kind of been working on it, encouraging clubs to start developmental programs. We're always willing to work with clubs and helping you set that up. In Webpoint, we can set up a special developmental league membership for your club specifically so that the kids can go in, pick that in Webpoint, and know that they're affiliated with your club so you can see all of them as well. Just call the office. Sharkey and I can help you with that. Jen can help you with that. Sarah can help you with that. Get you guys set up. We get, every year hundreds of kids that don't end up with a place to play, and they're always looking for different opportunities. And those developmental leagues, we found the clubs that are running them have been very, very helpful to the kids.
And I'm going to step in here. And I know there are some people who do it during the fall. I know ACERS does it. I think BJ, you guys do it. And it's the league membership is a reduced price. It's $15 per kid. The time parameter is up to 24 hours. So if you do a 2-hour-a-week program for 12 weeks, that gets kids in the gym, it gets kids in your program familiar with your coaches at a reduced price. I mean, obviously you still have to, have background screens and the impact and all of that stuff, but it helps you kind of build up that base. A lot of people use it, it's regardless of age. There also is the 8 and under free membership that people can use, and the 9 to 11-year-old $15 membership that people can use to play. But that developmental membership really, a lot more people are starting to utilize that. So definitely know that that's an option, and we can definitely work with you guys to get that reduced price set up.
Every year as well, I send an email out to club directors, normally about after the tryout period has ended, asking what clubs are offering developmental programs. Okay, every year I get about 8 to 10 clubs that say, hey, we're going to offer something, and I would encourage you guys to use Ryan as your point person to have that set up. Because what then I do is I reach out to the kids that in Webpoint come end of December, they haven't selected a club, but they had that tryout membership. Normally each year there's about 900 to 1,000 kids in our database that don't make a club or decide that club volleyball isn't for them after they go through the tryout. Those 900 kids are probably still looking to play. They just didn't land at the right club. They didn't get an offer, but you know what? A developmental program is something they might be interested in. So I remember having a conversation with the club director last year. Well, this isn't financially feasible for our club to run a developmental program because we never know how many kids are interested. We have 900 kids that get an email that said, Pewaukee Volleyball Club offers a developmental program in your area, or ACERS offers it in your area. That's a great resource. That's hey, I now probably may be able to reach out to 100 of those 900. I'm not giving you the list, we're not giving like names and stuff, but I do email out, hey, these 8 clubs in the state last year offered it, and maybe you got some from it. So it's definitely a tool to use.
Just kind of keep going. All your coaches have to be full adult members, full $50 membership. So coaches, full memberships, all coaches have to be impact certified in order to be listed on the roster. Okay, so kind of a checklist as you're going through the season. You're going to be proactive with your coaches. Full memberships, impact certified, background screen, and safe sports certified.
Now, I'm going to jump in through this pointing. Collegiate memberships also count as a full adult membership. There is a collegiate membership offered by USA Volleyball that's a $15 limited membership. We like our college, WVC uses it, you guys, a lot of you use college coaches. So we actually, Badger Region, eats the cost of the difference between the $50 membership and the, I think it's 27 collegiate membership. So that's a benefit that you guys are getting from us. Badger Region, for every collegiate membership, we don't get that full membership cost because we believe it's important for our college kids to be able to have the benefits of a full adult membership. So when we say full adult membership, it's either the $50 or the $27 college membership.
One of the other questions we get all the time every year is, I've got a kid who's still in high school who decided they don't want to play club volleyball anymore, but they want to help me coach. We definitely allow this. They have to be a high school senior. Okay? They still choose the regular junior membership. There is no special coach membership. Okay, so the regular junior membership. If they're not 18 yet, we have a junior code of ethics that they have to sign and fill out and send back. And then once they turn 18, they would have to submit then for a background screen. But again, they can only do it if they're a high school senior. Anybody else would have to be only a team manager that would not be allowed to coach at all. Yes, I was just going to touch base on that. So yes, they also have to be impact certified if they're going to be coaching. If you have any questions on that, feel free to shoot me an email, and I can also then send you the junior code of ethics that they have to sign and send back.
So we implemented this last year and it worked out really well. We run all of our emails through Gmail. So we have a dedicated email membership that all of us in the office can access. So any Webpoint question, membership questions, coach questions, background screening, anything for you or your parents, membership@badgervolleyball.org. That way, all of us can access it at all hours of the day. I'm not a morning person. I am up at 1 a.m. Eastern time. So I will get it, but he's a morning person. So if you email him, you may not get, well, you're up all time. So it's just easier for all of us, and then we have a filing system. We all know what everyone else is doing, and so we can get to those quicker. So I just encourage you to use this access or this email address so we can better serve you and faster serve you.
Certificates of insurance. We do have a form on our website that you can fill out. It's a fillable Word document. Fill it out, send it back to me. You also must include any of the gym usage that you have every practice time that you're going to be having. Needs to be listed in a document and sent along with that.
Or in addition to it later if it changes.
Yes. If you do not send that, then those practices are not sanctioned by the insurance. We will not cover it. So you must have that on file with me when you submit your request form.
And this is just because there are obviously other volleyball organizations. There's other things going on in the school. I had a claim come this year that, well, there was this gym that, yes, Badger Region did sanction, but it was a soccer practice going on in the gym. And so I was able to check the usage sheet and say, yeah, that wasn't our event. And then they finally found out that it was soccer. And so you guys may see it as more paperwork, whereas it kind of goes back to what Emily was saying, like CYA. We're trying to help you guys, we're trying to do all of this stuff. And so, yes, it's a lot of paperwork up front, but it's going to save a lot of time on the back end.
AJ, you have a question?
Oh, there's.
What would happen?
Format do you want a practice schedule?
It can be it can be an Excel document, it can be a Word document. It just has to have the date on it and the times that you're
And if you use a facility, like your facility, if you know you're going to be in there Monday through Sunday, 4 a.m. to 9 p.m., great, send that. It doesn't need to be 15th is practicing from 8 to 9. Like, it doesn't need to be that. It just needs to, we need to just be able to go in, if there's a complaint file, we need to go in and just be able to tell that that's your club that's in there.
What would happen if, let's say you are in a gym and you're sharing, I mean, there are other, clubs, softball or whatever that are in the gym, and all of a sudden that coach contacts, my coach or whatever, and asks to flip-flop gym space time.
Just shoot Ryan an email. And even if it's after the fact, that's fine.
Okay.
Like, if you don't know about it and you're like, just shoot Ryan an email and say, hey, by the way, this happened. We have files for it. And generally 99% of the time, it just goes into a file. But that 1% that we needed it, that's where it came in handy.
Yes.
When can official practices start?
I mean, anytime after your teams are formed.
Yeah,
That's up to you.
The first day for 14 under tries is October 1st, so in theory, anytime after that. Yes?
Maybe one of these questions later, but what about beach courts?
Beach is the same type of thing. I've had conversations with, there was a club who sanctioned someone's backyard for a grass tournament. I think that was you, wasn't it? Yeah. And I was like, can we do this? And they're like, yeah, as long as you say it's okay and if there's not like metal poles sticking out from where you're going to be playing. But yeah, I mean, as long as that's the thing. And the other thing with this that I'm sure Ryan will touch, a lot of requests that we get are like, we want to sanction the city of Waukesha. Like, no, we're not doing that. We need to know the specific school. Now, obviously, the parochial schools in Milwaukee like to have that addendum as additional assurance. So we also insure the Archdiocese of Milwaukee and blah, 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 blah. So if there are addendums, we can definitely do that. We just need to know which facility. So we're not gonna insure the school district of Waukesha. We will, insure the main gym with the school district of Waukesha as additional insured. So just, if you submit that, Ryan may contact you back and say, hey, I need a little more information. So just kind of be aware of that when submitting also.
And more important than the facility is that the kids, the athletes are members of the region.
Absolutely.
So the insurance they buy.
Yes. And obviously that, what Dave said is the insurance doesn't apply at all if you don't have everyone as a member. So.
And just a reminder to anybody that has a current insurance certificate that they're using, all of them expire on September 1st. So if you're going to be using any gym space after that, you need to contact me and get a new certificate of insurance.
Incident report forms. Yay! They're fun. Make sure all of your coaches carry them. Again, it goes back to the CYA. 95% of the time, they come to me, I send them to verify membership and facility, and send them to the insurance company, and nothing happens. But we had 3 instances this year where somebody was majorly injured, and that insurance did apply. And so in 2 instances, we had the insurance on file, it was fine. In 1 instance, we had to track it down. So, major injuries, obviously submit something, have your coaches submit something. Even if you go to a tournament and you don't know, just submit it anyway. The more documentation of it, better. And just email them to me, I verify, I send them to their insurance company. Also make sure that your families know the other side of it. Yes, you're sending the incident report form. What happens? It's kind of like a check and balance system. So you guys send the incident report form to me, I send it to the insurance company. The family themselves takes the medical claim form, fills it out, sends it to the insurance company. When the insurance company gets both of those, they say, hey, there's probably an issue. We're going to look into this. And I don't have anything to do with that. That's out of my realm of knowledge. But just make sure that the families, if there is an injury, you do provide the families that form, or at least a link to our website where that form can be found, so that they can go ahead and start to get that compensation back for their medical bills. It is secondary insurance, so after their primary insurance is exhausted, then that secondary insurance does jump in. Questions on that? It's exciting stuff.
Does anybody have any other questions regarding Webpoint, registration, team fees, insurance, certificates of insurance, things like that before we go on to the next one?
With Webpoint, is there ever going to be a way that we can send parents the same email when we're sending it out to teams?
No, there's not going to be a way to send parents the same email because the parents are not our members. Yes, the parents pay the bills. Yes, the parents do everything. The parents are not our members. We've asked that, multiple regions have asked that, and that's the reason we always get from the risk management at USA Volleyball, the insurance company that USA Volleyball uses. The parents are not our members. Now, oftentimes, the email that goes into the membership registration is the parent email, and so you'll be able to use that, but sometimes it's not. But, I mean, short answer, no. Anything else? All right, and as always, ask us questions. We try to get back as quickly as possible.